Hi guys, it's Brandaline Johnson, and in this video I am going to go over several different symptoms that people experience when they actually are a medium and don't know it. I'm also going to share about the development course that you can take in order to develop your gift from going from zero to medium, or for you to be able to get control over this gift so that you can manage these symptoms and have a better human experience. Um, so those of you that don't know me, I'm Brandaline Johnson, and I went through a spiritual awakening about 6 years ago. And ever since I developed into my psychic and my mediumship, that is when I decided to start teaching it, because that's when I realized that's my soul's purpose. But it's also important for us to be able to use all the gifts that we came here. And we're all going through a spiritual awakening. It's not going to stop. So to help people understand what the heck's going on with them. So the first symptom I'm going to talk about is anxiety. And I don't just mean general anxiety. I mean, do you experience anxiety when you go into a public place, or a sudden onset of anxiety when you go into a large public place? Or do you experience anxiety? You wake up in the middle of the night and you have anxiety for no reason, or you wake up in the morning and you have anxiety for no reason. There's absolutely nothing going wrong in your life. So the reason why people that are mediums and don't know it have anxiety upon going into large public places is when you're a medium, you have a light about you, like this light bulb on you, and the people that are their past loved ones are always with us, even at the grocery store. And so when you come into that grocery store, those people's past loved ones actually see you, and they want to come to you in order to get a message across to their living loved ones. So it's almost like they kind of bum rush you, they bombard you in the grocery store, and you're feeling like you can't breathe. Get me out of here. What's going on? I don't want to be in the store anymore. I know several people that have taken the development class that actually stopped going to the grocery store because of that onset of anxiety. Now, why does that cause you anxiety? It's just like if there was like 10 alive people in your face, you're going to feel them, that they're in your personal space, and you're going to ask them to step away. But when they're invisible people and you don't see them, you still have this feeling of somebody's in my space, but your human brain can't make sense of it. So your body immediately goes into anxiety mode. All right, so then the next symptom I'm going to talk about is people that have been diagnosed bipolar. All right, so a bipolar person will have really high highs and really, really low lows. And the reason why some of those people, not all of them, but more than probably not, are actually mediums and they don't know it. It's because we can be influenced by spirit. You know, there's spirit guides, there's angels, there's past loved ones, and there's just energies. There's high energies, there's lower energies. Just like you could think about, humans that some of them are really outgoing and you feel really great when you're around them, and some of them are real downers and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so drained when I'm around them. So imagine that there's these invisible people, right? It's like I always like to call the bipolar like the angel and the devil. So maybe, when you're having your really high highs, you're like actually yourself, you're hearing your guidance from your spiritual team. But when you're having your really low lows, you might be having like a lower level entity, or you might be having, say, somebody that didn't cross over, maybe somebody that was an alcoholic, or somebody that committed suicide, and they're just really, really depressed. But when they find out that if they say things to you and then your behavior changes because of what they said to you, and you're thinking in your mind that, gee, I'm so depressed, and you have all these negative thoughts that day, that's you receiving information from a spirit. But because you don't know that that's what's happening, you're actually acting out that behavior of how you feel. You might be feeling really down and stay home and be under the covers and in the dark and be depressed, or being rageful, right? And then when you're on the positive side, you're experiencing the opposite. So that is another symptom of being a medium and you don't know it. Also, schizophrenia, people that have been diagnosed schizophrenia, same thing. They're hearing the voices of spirit, and they don't realize it, so they think they're crazy, or their family members call them crazy, saying you're listening to these voices and you're doing what the voices says. Same thing. Past loved ones or entities, energies that are actually making you influence your behavior by actually, and when you're hearing it, it's called psychic hearing, clairaudience, right? And in the development class, you can find the link below this video. We go through everything: seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing, and mediumship. A lot of people that reach out to me now are like teenage girls. Their moms are reaching out because their daughters are hearing voices, or having that anxiety or being woken up at night, right? Being woken up at night is a major clue, like between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. If you're constantly being woken up in the middle of the night and you don't know why, a lot of times that's spirit waking you up, because when your mind is at rest, they can reach out to you more, but also they're more active at night. So they're like, wake up, or they influence your dreams, all that stuff. So that's and then depression, right? What if you wake up in the morning and you're depressed for absolutely no reason? Or you go into the grocery store and you feel great and you leave totally depressed. The same scenario as what I've been talking about. It could be a spirit that is really depressed, isn't crossed over, committed suicide, just a really low level energy. And you feel that energy. We're all intuitive. You could feel when, usually most of us could feel when somebody's in a positive mood, or they could feel when somebody's really down in the dumps. And so you decide if you want to hang around that person or not. But when that person is invisible and you feel those feelings, a lot of times you take those feelings on as your own because you think that it's you. So that's depression, anxiety, bipolar, and schizophrenia are major clues, major signs that you might be a medium and you don't even know it. Having electronics go crazy around you is another symptom of being a medium and not knowing it. Another symptom would be all of a sudden you give this incredible advice, you have no idea where it came from, and your friend's like, wow, you just gave me divine guidance. And then you didn't hear it, you didn't think it, it just flowed through you, and that would definitely be you were channeling either your higher self or spirit. And one of the other another downside symptom would be you have thoughts that you think to yourself, well, I would never think that. That's a horrible thought. Or you even see visions of yourself doing really horrible things to the people that you love. That is also spiritual. It's spiritual influence. You're being influenced by spirit. Maybe it's a lower level entity that wants you to, do something bad to yourself or the other people around you. And I get people reaching out to me with that. And with that, you're going to need to kind of get a cleansing, and you're going to need to, I always say, take the class, because the class is going to help you understand why this is happening to you. It's going to give you the tools to control it and make things stop or make things start according to what you want your human experience to be. Another symptom would be if you're alone at night, if all of a sudden you feel like you're being watched, you feel like there's a presence in your home. That's definitely an example of being a medium. Having dreams of your past loved ones come to you with messages, that's definitely being a medium, because the past loved ones are coming directly to you. It's a mediumship experience, right? Which means we all have this ability to develop into it. Like back in the day, people were special, or they were born with it. But now, as we're evolving, we're growing into it. We're growing into it. Eventually, everybody will be having these types of experiences. But the reason why I'm so passionate about sharing this type of message is because the medical community is not in cahoots with the spiritual community. So these people that have these symptoms, they go to the medical community and then they end up getting a Band-Aid put on them. They end up getting medicated. And I like people to come out to me so I could say, hey, let's work together and get this under control for you, so that you can have a better experience. So many children are awake and aware these days. If you've ever had an imaginary friend, that's clairvoyance, but it's you talking and communicating with somebody that's physically not in this realm. They don't have their meat suit on, right? So that's another example of being a medium. And there's so many more. You can go to my website, brandaline.com/medium, and there's a whole bunch of other little symptoms. But these main ones that I wanted to talk about was the anxiety, the depression, the bipolar, the schizophrenia, and another one is an autoimmune disease. So many people watching this video are probably going to have all of that, because once you've been a medium for a certain length of time, it starts to drain your energy field, because the loved ones, they need energy in order to manifest, in order to give you the message. And if you're a medium and you don't know it, you have that light bulb on, and you bet that spirits are following you home, and they're probably in your home, and you start having too much spirit around you, then you're just going to be drained and drained and drained. And when your life force wanes, when your energy field wanes, that's when autoimmune disease comes into play. And if you're somebody watching this and you have every single one of those symptoms, then you're more than likely what I call a paranormal medium, because you've had these spirits following you around for a lot longer than you probably know. If you have questions about this video or about the class, by all means, leave a comment on this video. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Brandeline Johnson, on Instagram at Brandeline, and I have a beautiful group on Facebook called Spiritual and Personal Development. And if you're not in there, by all means, join us. But definitely click the link below to find out and sign up for this development class. And now I have no idea how to stop the live video. Hopefully it saves itself, right? I'm afraid to push the X. I hope it doesn't go away. I have to try to do this video again if it does.